What's up? What's up? What's up? You already know we back at it again. You're with Garcia. Talk your bar, talk your barber shit. All right, all right. We logging on. I'm gonna let IG do what it do. Start sending out notifications. Let everybody know we going live. I got a beautiful, amazing barber, the boss lady, that's gonna join us today. Share her journey, share her growth, share all the knowledge of the game. This is what the platform is about, so I'm definitely looking forward to speaking with her today. And yeah, I see you're already logged in, so I'm gonna go ahead and do what I do. I'm gonna send you the notification to let you know you can log in with me so we can start the live. How you doing?
Hi. Oh, that's loud.
Let me know when you're ready. Get situated. No rush.
Ready. I'm
Okay.
ready. Good evening. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm
How's
great.
your
Thank you.
How's your day going so far?
Busy, busy day. Today's my Sunday. Mondays are our days off, so it's my Sunday today.
All right.
Yeah.
So, always like to introduce myself. Always like to introduce my platform and let everybody know why they're here or why they should be joining our live. So, Talk Your Barbershop slash Talk Your Beauty Biz is a platform for individuals like yourself to come on and
Okay.
speak about their journey and their growth, the things that they had to deal with, getting to the point where they're at now. This is sharing their experience because it's someone like yourself that's out there and they're thinking about what's their next move, what's their next passion, what's their next growth. And sometimes hearing someone speak life or their journey to someone elevates them to want to take on that same journey, that same growth, that same love, and just push it forward. So this is what my platform is about.
I love
I
it.
know, I know I say talk your shit, but it's about talking your shit, your growth, your triumph, everything that you've been through, everything that you had to go through to be the person that you are today. So that's why I say talk your shit.
Oh, that's a lot. That is a lot.
So
Okay. Where do you want me to start? Do you want to ask me a question so I can,
definitely, I will. I will.
yeah, so I can
Always
piggyback?
like to start like from the journey, the beginning. Like,
Mm.
what was it that or someone, or maybe it was just yourself, or maybe you just looked in a shop one day and said, "Oh, I want to do that." What was it that got you to this arena that we call the beauty industry?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well actually anybody and everyone that knows me knows where my story started, and that's with my uncle. He was a barber stylist.
Oh, nice.
So I grew up in the salon my whole life. I was in the salon with him as a little kid running around. As I grew older, I becoming more interested in what he was doing. He hired me when I was about 13 years old to work at the salon, do towels, sweep. He'd give me some money here and there, and I'd come in and, make my little money. And I remember this one day was a Saturday, it was busy. He would do barber and he would do Cosmo. So he had men in his chair, women in his other chair, in foils under the dryer. He'd be doing barber cuts at the same time while he had a girl in the underneath the dryer, processing for highlights. I remember this day was so busy, and at the end of the day, and back in the day, everything was cash. I'm talking about like 98, 97. This was all, it was, everything was cash. So he gave me this wad of cash from the day. He said, "Here, mommy, count it." And I remember just like grabbing the money, starts counting, and start organizing the ones, the fives, the tens, the twenties, the hundreds.
Yeah.
And I remember just thinking to myself, like, yeah, this is what I'm gonna do.
Right.
This is what I'm gonna do. This was in one day. He had made over $2,000 in one Saturday. Okay. And I just remember thinking like, this is awesome. And I was having fun and he was having fun and his clients were amazing and everybody loved him. I loved him. He's the love of my life. And it was just always such a good time in the salon with his coworkers, who I'm still very good friends with some of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I remember this day, and I was just like, God, this is the funnest day. Busy, yes. We were tired, yes, but it wasn't like you were tired and you were like not happy to have been tired from your job, you know? I just
Right.
remember being happy
Yeah.
that I was doing what I was doing. And this is when I was about 13. And then I remember like asking him, saying like, can you teach me how to cut hair, please? Like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
So he kind of looked at me and he said, okay, mija,
Yeah.
let's do it. And then I started coming into the salon instead of uh, sweeping and doing towels. He's like, okay, you're going to sit behind, you're going to shadow me, you're going to watch me work, you're going to wash more hair, you're going to touch more hair, you're going to ask the questions that you want to ask, anything, like just ask and be and watch and learn. And I remember doing that for like a whole year, watching, learning. And then when I was about 10th grade, they I had finished my electives in high school, and they had an open enrollment for cosmetology school in 10th grade in high school, and it was free as long as you were a student. So because I had finished all my electives, I was able to do that. So for my sixth period in 10th grade, I would run out of school with all my stuff, jump on the bus, and go to the cosmetology school.
Yeah.
And I did that for 2 years, 10th and 11th grade. By the time I was in 12th grade, I was getting ready to test for my license, for my state board license. So I got my cosmetology license. Well, I was getting ready for my company before I even graduated high school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I'm a little nervous, but
No, you no,
I'm trying to go back so far back because I haven't spoken about this story in such a long time. So I'm just trying to get it all organized in my head. So I graduate cosmetology school, but at the time though I didn't have papers because I myself I'm an immigrant. I'm from
Okay.
Mexico.
Okay.
I'm proudly Oaxacan. So I'm from a very indigenous part of Mexico. It's
Okay.
called Oaxaca, and I didn't have papers. I was an immigrant, but I was going to high school, working at the salon, and going to Cosmo school. You know,
Yeah.
and so if anybody has anything, it hurts my heart when people want to talk bad about immigrants or want to say that we're taking the jobs or we're taking this or we're taking that, because no, we have to work double hard. We have to work triple hard to get to where we need to get to. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to get my cosmetology license, for another couple of years until my residency came in, because we were I had been in process for my residency card for like 10 years.
Mhm.
So I was very little. So I was still going through the process of that. So anybody that says, oh, just get your papers, just become a U.S. citizen. Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Because it's not that easy.
Yeah.
It took my mother $60,000 for us to do that, hire lawyers, go through the process of immigration, go to the interviews, we were getting fingerprinted, background check. We did all of that, right? So by the time, time, flies, and I'm still working at the salon as an assistant because obviously I didn't have a license. I was working at the salon as an assistant, and I learned everything I need to learn on the floor.
Mhm.
And by the time I was around 1920, I got my permanent residency card. So I go take my license. I pass my license. I get licensed. My uncle was so proud of me. Everybody was so happy. I was like the best day of my life getting my license because I was a licensed professional.
Right.
You know, my license is like my most prized possession. And it really, I really do. I'm grateful that I was able to get it because it was one
So
of the things that was hard for me to get.
so you got to did you graduate high school first or like was it like at
I
that moment?
actually, I actually didn't graduate high school.
Oh,
So
how did
I left.
it-
I left 2 weeks before graduation. I said, I'm out of here. I'm going to get my license. I'm out of here
She was
because I
like,
wasn't,
yeah,
and it's not, I'm not proud of it. I'm not
yeah,
proud of it because now I have a 13-year-old daughter, a 10-year-old daughter, and a 6-year-old son that I'm pushing to
yeah,
get, through school. And I want them to get, to graduate and have all that. But at the time, when I had applied to some colleges, I was being denied because I didn't have my, residency. I was an immigrant, and to even attend a class in college, it was going to take like 300 units, which is like almost $1,000 to even sit in a class. So I was like,
yeah,
I'm not going to do that to my parents.
yeah,
Even though my mom was like, we'll figure it out, and I was like, no, I'm going to cut hair. Forget it.
yeah.
I'm cutting hair. This is what I'm going to do. So I just took off 2 weeks before graduation, and I just went and graduated cosmetology school, and this is what I love to do. So I've been doing this for October 4th was my 21 year in the industry.
That's crazy.
License,
That's
license.
yeah.
21 years with my license. So October 4th was my 21st year anniversary with my license. But I've been doing this since I was kind of since I was about 14. And during high school, I was forcing my brothers to cut, so I can cut their hair. So I was giving them the worst lineups. I was giving them the worst fades. Like my brothers really went through it. They really sat through, my learning phase,
Hmm.
and I was cutting hair at home, and then my uncle let me set up a little barber thing in the backyard. So I was doing all the kids in the neighborhood. I was doing all the kids from high school. I was having people come over to do haircuts. So I've always been really passionate about that. Oh look, Tank, I co-sign all this. That's one of my friends from high school.
Oh, I
So
see
I've been so
everybody trickling there. I see ten
so yeah,
stats. Yeah.
this has been my thing since I was a kid. I've never known anything else. I've had little odd jobs here and there, but I never took anything serious. I was just like, I'm gonna cut hair. That's just what I'm here to do. And so 21 years doing this, and I'm very proud. I'm an immigrant. I'm Mexican, and I've been licensed for 21 years. Thank you to my
Love it.
mother for doing what she had to do to get us, our residency cards and permits to work. Because we all want to work.
Yeah.
Nobody not doesn't want to work. Anybody that's an immigrant that came to this country came here for a better opportunity, for the access to have something better. So yeah, we're here to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a couple bad apples in the batch, like in anything, right? In anything, there's gonna be a couple bad apples. But as a whole, we can't be judged by a couple bad apples. We are here to work, and we do it really well. So I
I
just kind
agree.
of wanted to throw that out there because with
I'm
all of this political stuff, it's just
I'm glad
I
that
don't
you
even like
spoke on it.
watching it, but I hate hearing it.
I'm glad that you spoke on it. I mean, for me to let you know as well, like my dad is from Belize, so
Mm,
I understand everything that you're sharing, what you're detailing and all that. Like my dad had to come over here and make a living for himself and to be able to take
right,
care of us. And he was able to get his green card and he did what he had to do to get that. But it's different. The like you said, like your family came out here to make a difference and make a difference for y'all. My dad came out here and did the same thing. So when you have that atmosphere, you got that hard working and jealous in yourself that you want to do that, you want to make it grow. Like, why are you fighting against people that really want to do that and make a difference for their family? Like, I don't.
right,
Yeah,
right,
yeah. So,
right. And
I,
you're talking about taking immigrants out or illegals that are criminals, but you're taking the dad out of his
yeah.
truck that went going to
I mean,
work, and
I could go so far into that. Like
yeah,
everybody's not from here.
yeah, not no, nobody's from here. Nobody is from here. But anyways, I just wanted to, and I don't want to get political because I
Yeah,
have my
yeah,
own political beliefs, and
yeah,
that causes strains,
yeah,
between people. And I've seen a lot of really good relationships break over, political views.
yeah,
And I don't really have one because I don't really care about politics. I feel like
yeah.
they're all in the same. They all hang out with each other. They all go to each other's kids' parties. They just do all of this to divide and conquer us. So that's really my belief. But I'm just, what the mainstream media is saying is we are not that way. And a lot of our parents are not that way. And we have honest, hardworking parents, and we are honest, hardworking people. And in this industry, especially, this industry gives us so many opportunities to do what we want, do what we love, and do what we believe in without any judgment. This is why I love this industry so much, because anybody can be a barber. Anybody that wants to cut hair can do it. There is no stipulations and no judgment and no like criteria. Well, you got to look like this and you got to be like this, and this is what you need to do to become. You could be anybody and be a barber. Be yourself and be a barber. If there's
Some,
anybody that could say,
some bad
oh, be
shit.
yourself, this industry, this is what it's about. Be yourself here.
Yeah, I love it. See, you talking that shit. You ready? You came ready and prepared for this.
I didn't. I didn't, but I am very in love with this industry, and I love everybody in this industry, and um I'm very proud to be a barber. Anybody that asks me, I probably say I'm a barber, and people look at me like, "You're a barber? You know how to cut men's hair?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can do that."
So I mean, it's very awesome to know that you have someone that was in both sides of the
Hmm.
spectrum of this industry, where he can show you the barbering side, how to understand how to um, build relationships how to build relationships when it comes to the Cosmo side. And then I see when, I got a chance to go to Vegas and you was on the stage and see like the cross reference between those both and
Thank you.
understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then seeing the units, the man units that you created. Cause I wanted to dig into that. Before I even get to that portion first, because I love the atmosphere of that world as well. Because the guy that I work with under our shop, he specializes in that too, and he also
Mm.
follows you. So
Oh, awesome. Hi.
yeah. So when I got a chance to go there and then see you guys on stage and see you to like manipulate the shape of the hair, how you to even force a whole man unit, you just kind of chopped up the hair and spread it on top and did your thing. That that was remarkable, and I love that how you show like sometimes not every customer needs a full unit on their hair. They can
Right.
do other things as well. So like let's talk about that portion of like skills, like techniques, like how did you understand or how did you say, okay, I'm starting to move myself in this category, and what did you do to start building those skills and those techniques to make sure that once you did line yourself in that area, that you was going to do it the way that it should be done.
Okay, so I've been in both industries, barber and beauty. I started in the beauty industry with my uncle, but I also did barbering because he was versed in both sections of the industry. So I can do some girl hair. Yes, I can. I can
Yeah.
do extensions, color,
Yeah.
highlights. I was an instructor at Simply Divine in Monrovia for a
Okay.
couple of months, and I have a couple. One of my students that he's on here. And so I love to teach. I love to teach, and I love to learn. And I think one of the things that's helped me mentally is my uncle always telling me, you will never know enough
Mhm.
because this industry evolves constantly. It's constantly evolving, constantly going into the past styles, bringing them back, learning, creating new styles. We're kind of like doctors. Doctors have to go to school
She
forever.
really
There's
are.
always new illnesses. There's always new sicknesses. There's always new medicine. There's always new treatment. So we're like doctors. We got to keep going. We got to keep learning because everything evolves, comes back, is created, is new. Somebody invents something and we all got to learn it because now everybody wants it, or something from the past we weren't taught. So we got to learn that. We got to go somewhere so we can learn, a past style. So when I moved into the direction of hair units, this was about around COVID time. At that time, I owned a barbershop myself in Santa Clarita. So I
Okay.
owned two barbershops for a little bit of time. So I owned my first barbershop for 10 years in Santa Clarita. And then around 2019, I started planning to open my second shop. And so I started opening a second shop in the city of Santa Clarita. And I decided to close my first shop and just stick with one because at the time I opened the second shop. I had a baby. I bought a 3-acre ranch. I had all this money that I wanted to reinvest. So I spread myself real thin, right? But I thought to myself, I've been doing this for 10 years. I know how to work my money. No problem. I'll just make it back, and 2020 hit and it just swallowed me up. When I say swallowed me up, everything that I had worked for in 10 years, I lost in 6 months, because I had two leases because I still had the other lease that I still had to, I was under contract. So even though I was closing it down, I still had a couple more months left on it. So I had to pay that off, pay my new lease off. I had just signed my new lease for 5 years. I just bought a new ranch. So I had a mortgage. I had a house. I had rent, and then so I had all these bills and stuff. So at the time, I just didn't. I was paying everything. I was trying to figure out how to do things. We were shut down, and I'm sitting at home one day, and I see a video of Mickey the barber. I see one of her transformations, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what is this? I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like, I had heard about hair units, but it was only in film. And I
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
remember knowing about Steve Harvey wearing one,
Yeah.
but because he was on TV, you
Yeah.
know? So, in the industry, you hear about these things like, oh, when they create wigs and hair units for film, for TV, for movies. And then I'm like, wait, people are going to start doing this now. Like it's starting to trickle down into the shops. So then I started, I messaged everybody. I started looking at more people that were doing this. I looked at Mickey the Barber. I looked at LT the barber, hi ET I mean, the fit barber, TK the barber, like hi guys. And so I went and I did all of their classes. I DM'd everybody. I said, how much is your class?
Yeah.
When is the soonest that I can come and see you work? And I started traveling. I went to Detroit. I went to Texas like 7 times. I went, to Baltimore. I went everywhere that they were having that an instructor was willing to see and teach me. I took every single class.
Right.
Because
Right.
because also I started to see, I've been at that time, I was already 15 years in.
Hmm.
So I had clients for the past 10 to 15 years. So a lot of my clients that I had, I started to notice them balding.
Yeah.
They were already bald. A lot of my clients were going to age out of my chair,
Yeah.
and I started thinking like, oh wow, like not gonna have a certain amount of clients anymore and now I have to acquire new clients and we're shut down. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm losing everything. I'm you know, belly under. And so then I said, I'm gonna learn a new skill. That's just the only thing I knew how to do. I'm like, I'm gonna learn something new. I'm going to just do it. And everybody that I told about this was like, nobody's gonna come and get that. Nobody's gonna. Everybody
Right.
that we just rather be bald if we're gonna go bald. And I'm like, I don't think everybody feels that way. I feel like if you can save somebody's look, they might try it. And that's kind of the mentality I had. I'm like, not everybody wants to be bald, and not everybody feels like they look good bald. You
Right.
know.
You're
So I was
right.
like, I don't care. I'm still gonna do it. I'm still gonna go and take the classes and learn as much as I could. And so I did. And then I started my class with LT. He's in Texas. He's in Rockwall, Texas. He did a video of me doing a unit in his class, and he posted it on TikTok. And I come back from his class back to Las Vegas. I come back from his class, and that same weekend, I get a DM from somebody saying, "Hey, I saw that you are doing your hair units. I'm in Vegas. I see you're in Vegas. Can I come in and get one?"
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, okay, come. Like I just learned how to do this.
Right.
The way that I work, the way that I am, I say, you know what? And it's not a fake it till you make it. Is you're not gonna learn. I mean, you're not gonna get good until you try it. You're not gonna get good until you practice it. So, he saw that I was in a class.
Yeah. Right.
There was like
You already know.
and so he came in and
Yeah.
honestly I just saw him. He was my first hair unit client. I just saw him last week before I left on vacation. And he was my first client. I saw him for his birthday. I did his unit. And I saw him that day. It took me, I think it was like 5 hours for me to do a hair unit on him. Like I just really just looking at my notes, doing what I was doing,
Right.
looking at my notes, looking
Right.
at my phone, looking at the videos I was doing. I was like literally just going based off of my notes and the video that I had taken ET's class. And I get it done, and he looked marvelous. He loved it. He was taking pictures of himself. He went to Puerto Rico, and I was just like so proud of myself. And he was like, "You did a great job. Um, thank you so much." He was messaging me, and I was just like, "Oh, thank you, Lord." Like I was like praying to the hair unit gods that day. But ever since then, though, I haven't stopped doing a hair unit. I have been booked out, booked up. I don't even do haircuts anymore. I hardly do a fade. I hardly do a taper. I hardly do a light. All I do is hair units, and that's because I dove in full head in first, and I said this is what I'm going to do. So it really did save me because when we were able to open back up, I still had my shop. I kept it open for a couple more months, and but remember that when everybody went home and started doing haircuts at home, because that's what everybody was doing.
Right. Yeah.
They were still taking care. They were still taking care of the clients at their houses,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So a lot of barbers weren't coming back. They didn't want to come back to the shop and pay booth rent anymore. They're like, well, I'm doing this at home now
Right.
and keeping all
Right.
my profits, and I don't have to split it with the shop owner no more.
Right.
So it took a little while for everybody to come back and stuff, but I did the decline in my profit was down. So then I decided I'm gonna go to Vegas. I'm gonna try this out in Vegas because that's the entertainment capital of the world.
Yeah.
There's got to be more people there that are willing And I started doing my research. The cost of living is lower. People have more money to look better, to look good. People are investing more in their looks in Las Vegas. So I left. I went over there. I called a friend, and lived there and had a barbershop. I said, hey, I'm thinking of coming there. Can I come? Can you help me? I was like crying. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I really need some help. And
Yeah.
he opened his shop to me. He said, yeah, come in, come by. Like I'll help you out. And I'm at his shop still. And I have a little studio in there, very private studio. In between, I have had other studios and stuff, but I went back there. Um, so I went to the shop, and then I set up, and I just been very busy and very blessed and very just successful in this,
Yeah.
because I didn't ever doubt myself. I said, well, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But
Yeah.
how can you know if you don't try, And so everything I've ever done. So then I also started working under a friend who was teaching me hair extension. I just wanted to learn everything. I said, I'm going to figure everything out. Doing
Right.
hair extensions, doing color again, doing highlights again, doing women's haircuts again, doing blowouts. I was like, I'm going to do everything until something sticks. And it was hair units that kind of just was what I thought to do. And it's just been what I ended with. So, but I feel like your question, sorry, I went a little bit off topic. Your question was
Not at
how did
all.
I know transition,
Not
right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've been a barber for, at that time I was already into 16, 17 years. I learned skills from everybody in the beauty industry, stylists, cosmetologists, barbers. Every shop that I ever worked at, I would sit behind somebody and watch them work. I learned how to fade from so many people. There's not only one way to skin a cat. So I figured I'm gonna figure out how everybody knows how to fade, how everybody tapers, how everybody lines up. Especially because I was a Mexican girl. In my household, we didn't come with lineups and stuff like that. So I had to learn a lineup. I had to learn a taper. Remember the straight hair. So um, that's how I feel like it was easy for me to transition to this because I already had the skill set. I've been trained by so many people. I never stopped learning. And so when I transitioned to hair units, it was just like an easy thing. I picked it up, I practiced it, and I mastered it.
See, that's what I love that in this industry, there's always areas where we can pivot and take on new challenges and keep pushing ourselves to the limit. It's never a point where we can stop and never say, "Oh, there's nothing
Mm-mm.
else for me that I can't learn," because it's
Yeah,
always
look, there's somebody on there saying hair units changed the barber game for me. It's same
yeah.
for me.
That's my boy Stacks. He's been on here. He's man. He's fabulous with the units, but he's also
Right.
doing this comedian thing on stage. So we got to chop it up as well again. But
Okay.
you know what I love that you spoke on in the beginning was that in this industry, especially when we're learning and we're taking our craft to the next level. You know what I found out that was crazy is that when we're studying or we're building our craft and we're going through the Milady book, it is almost like we're doctors.
Mhm.
And especially when it comes to, like you said, when you started noticing that things was changing with your clients, or you started noticing that, the thinningness in their hair, or what was starting to feel like it was starting to shift for them, you analyze that and you say, okay, what can I do to make sure that that I don't lose my customer,
Right.
but what can I do to help my customer? And the first thing you thought about was helping your customer. And I think that's a lot of things that
Sorry,
we
my
no, no,
baby.
no, we good. That a lot of that when it comes to this industry, a lot of thing that's being missed is
One
understanding.
sec. What? Give me one.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. He's jumping behind my video. I'm
It's-
grabbing his sister.
I'm gonna get my spotlight.
Sorry, my baby.
Yeah, so what I was getting at was that I noticed that when it comes to our field, we're nowadays what I see, and you could tell me if I'm wrong or not, is that we are kind of like focused on the cash image of this industry and not understanding what it takes to help our clientele.
Hmm.
And like you said, you did that, and you noticed that from almost a doctor or philosophist standpoint, like what can I do to uplift my client to make sure that he doesn't or she doesn't feel like she's, oh, I'm losing my hair, or now I'm not looking like I used to look before. You saw something that, okay, I'm gonna help you feel like the way you used to feel. It might be a little bit different of how we gonna approach it. But at the end of the day, you gonna still feel like who you are and who you always been. It's not being taken
Right.
from you. Yeah. So
Yeah, and I'm really am giving a lot of confidence back. Like I really am giving a lot of these men like their look and their image back. And you don't understand, like when some of these guys that come in who have been balding for years, didn't have, they don't. Not everybody was willing to go under the
yeah,
surgeon.
yeah, Yeah.
And they don't, and not everybody wants to go to church, and not everybody wants to be under and get surgery. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like some people are like, they have a phobia of being under. So I have a client who has a phobia of needles. He's like,
Yeah.
I saw the procedure, he's like, and I just can't do it. You
Yeah.
know? So not everybody is willing to be bald, and not everybody's willing to get surgery. So we're in the middle, and we are gonna fix this, and we're gonna give them that medium. Like, we can do this. It's not permanent, but it's it's something that we can keep doing as long as we can figure it out. So giving somebody's image back, giving them the confidence. A lot of my guys are not even they're not in their 50s and 60s, like I said on
Yeah. Yeah.
stage. A lot of
It's
my clients are
yeah.
20s and 30s,
Yeah.
young men.
Yeah.
They're handsome. A lot of
Yeah.
my guys are so handsome, and when I put this on them, and then they really do get that
Yeah.
confidence back. And for me, that's very rewarding.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like, yeah, we do, like you said, we do look at only the monetary of this industry, but there's so much more that we do besides earning money. Is we're giving people their look, we're giving people confidence, we give their image, and with a haircut, with a hair unit, with a perm, with whatever. Like, people come to see us because we're the ones that can make them feel good and look good. And a lot of people want to be presentable. A lot of people have jobs where they have to,
Yeah. Yeah.
be in front of people. Especially a lot of my clients are business owners. Take
Yeah.
meetings, go see clients, travel. Everybody wants to look good when you're doing that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I know.
for me, it's very rewarding. Yeah.
So, I also wanted to touch on basis, like, you said you love teaching and you get opportunities to teach. And what is the most difficult thing that you hear when you're in front of a class and you're trying to teach them the ways of the right laws of approaching this industry? But sometimes you hear like, "Oh, one reason I got into this industry is because I saw this influencer and he's making all this money, and then once he gets from behind the chair, he's being a content influencer, and now he's telling me I can manipulate the system by teaching this person and they buying this." Like, it wasn't never like that. Like, because I'm a '80s baby and I grew up around the barber industry like the same way you did, and I wasn't hearing none of that stuff when I was in the shop. All I saw was people laughing, enjoying each other. Yeah, the barber was making great money, but at the end of the day, it was still a community base. But
Right.
now I feel like everything is not a community base, and
Mm-mm.
it's always about what we doing right now. Like, we're sharing information, but other things are being shared that doesn't have nothing to do with our industry. How do you go in there? What is your approach when you're teaching the upcoming hairstylists that's coming in again?
I like to remind them that what we're doing has nothing to do with social media and content creation.
Mhm.
Yeah, it helps, but you're not going to be able to sustain a life if all you're doing is cutting and editing a video to make it look good, right? um I was born in 86. I'm also an 80s baby. We grew up before social media, we grew up before likes, we grew up before pictures.
Right.
Everything was word of mouth.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
somebody referred you, that's how you got business. If somebody saw your haircut in the street and said, damn, that's fresh, who did your haircut?
Right.
That's how you get a referral. So then you have people coming in like, man, I saw this guy with his haircut. I asked him and he said it was you. Can I get an appointment with you? Can I come in? So basically, we're still in a referral based kind of business.
Mhm.
It's just more visual than it was before. We're doing, like, especially for me, hair units. My clients are not going to refer each other because they're not going to say, I'm bald, check out my hair unit, right?
Right. Right.
So my business it really does depend on the videos and share and posts that I share. But I only share them and I post them. And if you look at my following count, my following count is really low. I don't have 23.7 million people watching me.
Right. But I don't
but
mean that you're not doing
but
what you
that
got
don't
to
mean
do.
nothing. That don't mean
Yeah.
nothing
Right.
because the business that I
Yeah.
have, the business, the flow of business that I have doesn't reflect the flow of business that I have online. It has nothing to do with it. I am
Gotcha.
busy and I'm making money and I can sustain myself because of the level of work and skill set that I do. So a lot of my students, when I was at the academy, I was I was booking out the place that I was like, all right, we're gonna work like it's a real salon today. We're gonna work like it's a real barbershop today. You're gonna take walk-ins, you're gonna take people, you're gonna learn everything, you're gonna work hard, You're gonna get the feeling of what it's like to work with people all day long, because that's where the real pride comes in. A full day of work where you're cutting, blending, fading, tapering, talking to people, hearing their stories, being
Right.
therapists, being
Right.
doctor. They're going to ask you, what do I do about my balding? What do I do about my hair thinning? What
Yeah.
am I going to do about this? You're there to really provide a service that not everybody can provide.
Yeah.
So a lot of my guys, and you know what, I'm going to say I'm very proud of this new generation of barbers that are coming out of the barber schools, because they're very hungry. They're very hungry. And I have a couple of students that are like 17, 18 that open their little barbershops right now, are
Yeah.
making
Yeah.
mad money, and they're
Yeah.
doing it really well.
Yeah.
They're doing it really well, and I'm very proud of them. And I feel like a lot of the industry it's taking a little circle back around, and it's coming, and it's getting back to it. What I saw, and I'm gonna say maybe like 8, 9 years ago, was a lot of barbers that wanted to smoke weed, drink, kick it, and so it's made our industry not being taken serious because of that.
Yeah.
People say, oh, the people don't take you serious. Well, people don't take you serious because you're coming in basketball shorts and a white tee, and you're smelling like weed, and you're drinking a beer in the back.
Yeah.
So you're not taking your work serious. So how can anybody else take your work serious? You
Yeah.
know, when
Yeah.
I had my barber shop, I had a dress code. My guys had to come in slacks, dress shoes, and a polo with our logo on it, on
Yeah.
certain days.
Yeah.
I had Thursday through Saturday was dress code. Everybody, because I wanted my clients to come in the shop and know who the barber was and who the client was.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
so I feel like taking pride in the way that you look. I would tell my guys, the way that you look, it's everything, because you're selling beautiful, you're selling beauty, you're selling a look. You need to look that way so
Lifestyle.
that you can
Yeah.
sell it.
Yeah.
You got to look that way, because that's what we're here for. We're here to make people feel beautiful. So you have to exude that,
Yeah. Yeah.
as women and men. You can't come in. You should go get a haircut too. I don't care if you're a barber, you're so busy you don't have a haircut. Go get your haircut. And I
Yeah.
won't have my barbers on me like, you guys come in early that day, get your haircuts for the next day. Everybody's looking a little fluffy here, and I would have I would encourage my barbers to come in early the next day so that they can give each other haircuts. I wouldn't really like everybody giving each other haircuts in between clients, because I just felt like
Right.
it's not professional. But I would encourage them to come in, on their days off and get haircuts. Like, you guys gotta look spiffy, you guys gotta look good, you guys gotta look professional. So that's one thing that I did. I would teach my students is the way you look is what you're gonna sell.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've been into a lot of studios, into a lot of like solo salons and stuff like that. And these girls are like in sandals and sweats, and I'm like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
remember coming from the era where everybody dressed up, everybody wanted to look good, everybody, wanted to feel and show off a certain look, so that they knew that I'm the stylist, you're the client. I'm gonna make you look like me.
Yeah.
I got a beautiful bob. I got a beautiful, highlights, because I can do this for you.
Yeah.
So it's like you're walking billboard.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
it's funny
and
that that you say that, because like when I was younger and I would go to the shop, I would look at someone that be like, man, if he coming to the shop and he looking like that, imagine what I'm gonna feel like, or what? Because I want to mimic, like, oh, that he wearing this, he got his hair cut this way, so he gonna make me look sharp when I go to school. So
right,
yeah, if you just come in there like you said with some basketball shorts smelling like weed, and are you taking mid breaks and stuff and going out to drink and stuff, and like what is your attitude for yourself, and what is your attitude for your business, and where do you see
exactly,
yourself going within this industry? And then, like I want to touch back on, even when I was in school to get my license, it was crazy to know that, dang, when if I was in high school at that particular time, I could have went and got my trade in barbering and stuff. And it's crazy that I didn't know anything about that. But then when I was in school to go get my license, that it was younger cats in there that was still in high school, and they was going for the cadet. Like, man, like I wish I knew about that at an earlier point in my life. Like,
right.
yeah,
I was one of them. I was 16 years old going to
yeah,
cosmetology school. So
yeah,
I did get a really early start. And when I started teaching at the Barber Academy and the Beauty Academy, and I saw kids that were my age at the time,
yeah,
I was like, I was excited to teach them, because they were so wide-eyed, and they're sponges and they want to learn. And I feel like the younger you start, the better for anything, right, in life.
yeah.
But even if you're older, it doesn't matter. Just be willing to learn.
Yeah. And
Yeah, be
we'll
willing
touch
to
on that
learn.
too.
Yeah, be willing to learn.
Yeah,
I get a lot of pushback from adults when I was trying to teach them
yeah,
because adults don't like to be told what to do. And
yeah,
I'm like, well, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you how to do it.
yeah,
I'm teaching you how to do it. I'm not telling you what to do because when you walk out of here, do whatever you want.
right.
But right now, I'm trying to teach
Yeah,
you how to do
yeah,
it. So I get a lot of pushback from adults, and that's what I learned when I was teaching. Adults do push back a little bit more than younger um, adults, because I'm going to call them adults because when you're taking a step into your future, you're an adult. You're
yeah,
a
yeah,
young adult.
yeah,
You know, you're taking steps as an adult, and I feel like I shouldn't call them kids. Like they don't deserve that. They deserve to be called young adults. Like I
yeah.
really do respect a lot of kids that are savvy and smart
Yeah.
and are already
And
planning
they
for their
hungry.
future
Yeah, like
and
you
they're
said,
hungry
yeah.
and they're hungry,
And I feel like
I
the sponge is different. Like you said, like with them, what now with them seeing what they're seeing with social media, they want to learn more. They want to be in these classes. They want to take it to the next level. They want to ask questions. And the ones that like coming in a little, not all adults, but some adults that come in, they feel like, okay, I already been here.
yeah,
I'm here, but I got this, and I'm just gonna do what I need to do to go get these hours. But I'm gonna do what I have to do once I get out of
right,
this. Yeah,
right. And I just feel like my advice for anybody that wants to be a barber, whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever, do it, but do it with the ability to learn,
yeah,
like get in there and just feel like if you have to regress back to being a child, do that because children
right.
are excited to learn. Kids
Yeah,
are excited. Young adults are excited. Have the excitement to learn. Always be excited to learn because when you're excited to learn, that's when the sponge starts to take it all in.
yeah,
And I do love to teach. I think that's one of my passions. That's why I love going to all the barber expos. I love teaching.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love it when people come up to me and ask me questions. I will take my time and sit there with you and teach you. And sometimes I do I have some mentors where are like, Osiris, stop teaching for free. Tell them to sign up, tell them to take your class. And I'm like, oh, I know, but I'm just so excited to teach. I'm so excited
Yeah.
to hear, see people that are excited to talk to me, see people that are
But
excited to learn from me.
but honestly, the way that you're doing it, I mean, I understand that somebody's like, "Hey, you can make profit off it," but at the end of the day,
Right.
profit is always gonna come because somebody's gonna ask you a question at that particular moment and gonna feel like, "Oh, she gave me so much, but it still wasn't enough," and then they're gonna reach out to you, and be like, "Can I take a class? Do you have a course?" So when it's the time for that to happen, it's always gonna happen. Like you don't really have to be like, hey, I got a course. Come and take my course if you want to learn more because people gonna reach out to you and see what you're doing. Like me seeing you knowing how to do units, I will hit you up and go, hey, are you teaching the course in Vegas and can I come out there? Yeah, it's always gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
Where do you see the industry going right now? I always like to ask as far as like the future of the industry because you do both sides. So, I don't want to just say particular barbering because you're across the board. So, where do you see the future of the industry going overall? How do you like it? You know.
okay. I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit right now. I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit right now.
Yeah.
Um, I'm new. I'm gonna say, and I'm very new to the whole beauty and barber expos, and I'm very new to this world. I just started, coming into this world because before I didn't feel the need to. I had my own business. I was raising children. I was raising a family. I was um managing business, my barber shop. So for me, it was just like I had what I needed. I felt fulfilled. But now I wanted to bring hair units into the world. I wanted people to understand that this is a new phase that we can learn, and this is a new skill set that we can add to our services. And I wanted to make it more mainstream. A lot of people were just like, there's not everybody in barber. Like I wanted people to walk into any barber shop in the country, any barber shop in the nation, and say, I want a hair unit, and almost every barber in there have that training. I want
Yeah.
clients to be. I want it to be a normal thing and a comfortable thing to go into a shop and ask, "Do you
Yeah.
guys do hair units? Can I get an appointment for one?" Um, so back to the question, where I see this the industry in the future. I really just hope it gets back to no, like, how how do I say this without saying it because I don't want to offend anybody. Um, I want to make sure that nobody's offended because I have these conversations in private with people where we're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like this is crazy, you know. I want people to go back to respecting this trade.
Mhm.
You know, I feel like a lot of this is not respected. People go to these barber expos to get drunk, to sleep around, to see who they're gonna be, smashing with that weekend. And it's just like it becomes like a situation where it's just not serious, you know? Like be serious. If you meet a woman that's a barber, like don't let it be the first thing you do is ask for her number and ask if she's down to kick it with you at the end of the night. Like don't do that because we're here working. Or women barbers, lady barbers, please stop going to these expos to look for men, you know, because that's where the line is getting blurred. A lot of these things are becoming so unprofessional that nobody's going to take you serious. Nobody's going to take you if you can't take yourself, nobody's going to take you serious. And now we're turning these events into just basically parties, you
Yeah,
know,
so
and
so this is social gathering. That's all.
it's a social gathering. It's
Yeah,
not even, you're not even networking anymore. You're
yeah,
not trying to learn
yeah,
from other people. You're not taking their classes. You're not signing up to their courses. You're not, following them for, to support. Like I feel like a lot of, and I'm gonna say it. I get hit on a lot. I get, what I'm saying. Like, and it's very flattering. Thank you. I appreciate you guys think I'm beautiful, and you see something that you might, feel like, oh, I would like that, but I'm not here for that. I'm here to teach. I'm here to support. I'm here to take your class. I want you to take my class. I want you guys to, I want all of us to go. I'm damn near 40. I'll be
yeah, yeah.
39 and thank you. I'm damn near 40. So I take this very serious because this is what's fed me, what's raised my children, what puts them in sports, what pays my mortgage, pays my car note, pays my insurance, keeps me safe and sound in a home. You know what I'm saying? Like I take this so serious that I feel like as barbers, women barbers, lady barbers, stylists and stuff, when we go to these events, let's do it to support each other and take the courses. You know, like
Mhm.
if there's barbers that are offering something for you, sign up to the class even if you think you know so much. Like why do you know how to fade? What I mean, take the class, sit there. You're already at the event anyways.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you're already there. Just sit in the class and maybe you'll learn something that you never thought you would that even crossed your head. Like
Yeah.
you maybe the way that they hold the clipper that day is gonna be like, oh man, like I can cut 2 minutes off of my services now, and instead of making $30 an hour, you're making $30 every 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just never know. Now you're making $60 an hour
Yeah.
instead of or I'm just saying like that's where I see this industry is just becoming a social gathering. It's not the network. The networking part is just kind of getting drowned in the noise, and
Yeah.
I want that to stop. I
Yeah.
really do. Like I want you guys, for all of us to be a community again, and I want us all to support each other and take the classes, take the courses. Again, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna keep saying that because it really irks me when I see a barber up there that's trying to teach something. There's two, three people in there when there's
Yeah.
200 people outside at the
Right.
bar
Right.
in the line
Yeah.
getting a drink. That
Yeah.
it really bothers me and it irks me and it makes me feel for the barber that took their time. You don't know what that barber, that stylist did to
Yeah.
prepare for that class. How long
A-
it took them.
Away from his
The
clients, away from his family, everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. They took the day off or
Yeah.
whatever to fly there,
Yeah.
to
Yeah. Yeah.
prepare, to
Yeah.
spend the money to be there, for there not to be no support. Like it bothers me a little bit,
Yeah.
that this is what's going on because
And
I'll walk to the bar and I'll see it, you
I,
know?
I definitely had a in-depth conversation like that because I was, talking to someone about, the whole, you know, these shows, the expos, and what they, what I would like to see more of. I would like to see more of the seminars, the Q&As, having the people on there talk about these things. I understand the whole battle, the competitions. I enjoy that as well. I definitely enjoy some of the barber placements of different tools that's coming out, and sometimes you can get it way cheaper than going to one of these actual stores out here. But I do want to see a lot more of like these better seminars of like um, having these atmospheres of people sitting down and the community base of teaching us how to really keep elevating our industry because I feel like a lot of things like you saying is the divide between our race, the divide of like barbershops that really didn't communicate with each other in the communities of understanding like at a certain time maybe we all should come to a point where we say, "Hey, I'm thinking about upraising my price. Once you do the same, so we don't look like
Yeah.
we're battling
Yeah. So
against each
there's
other."
so we eliminate competition, you
Yeah,
know?
like we all are a family in this industry, but I understand. Like it's there's an atmosphere of like it's sports. I get it. Like you want to have your crew that is known for a certain thing, and the other crew want to be known for certain things. But at the end of the day, we're in our own realm of an industry that should be like we're together. We're not
Right.
divided. Yeah.
Right.
So.
I agree. I really do agree with that too. Because I owned a barber shop, right? And there was a lot of competition between other barbershops, and I hated it because I didn't really participate in that. I didn't really like participating in that. But I see it all the time, and I really do feel that if we all stuck to the same game plan,
Mhm.
monetarily, we could all be in the same tax bracket,
Yeah.
because there's a tax bracket that a lot of us don't even know exists, that
Yes.
we can't, because every single one of us is an entrepreneur. Every single one of us is a business owner. Once we get behind a chair, every client that you bring in, that's your business, right? But also let me also make this very clear.
Do it.
Respect the shop owner, though.
Yeah. Right.
Respect the shop owner. You're
Yeah.
not better than the shop owner, and the shop owner's not better than you.
Yeah.
And just because you feel like you're a big boss because
Right.
you have your own business or whatever, because you feel like this is your business, doesn't mean that you don't respect the business that you're inside of. You know,
Yeah.
because I feel like a lot of shop owners get the end of the stick where like the barbers don't show up, they don't want to take in walk-ins anymore. They're only appointment only. If they say, hey, can you take this walk-in? Oh, my client's coming in 10 minutes. Back in the day, you could do a fade in 10 minutes.
Right.
Back in the day, you can line somebody up in 10 minutes, do a taper in 10. I got you. I got 10 minutes. Perfect.
Yeah.
In 10. I mean, the client already knows that they walked in. So, but that doesn't mean that the client shouldn't be taken care of because they're not on in anybody's book. Some
Well,
clients.
I could play the devil's advocate a little bit.
Go ahead. I'm old school. So for me, if I'm at the shop and this my
No, but
boss will contest to
I'm
you.
not saying what you're saying is wrong. I get that, but we're in a different realm of like style of cutting now because before people understood they was getting a haircut and they would allow the barber to cut. But now everybody is so like, ooh, I can get this, I can get that. You could do this, you could do that. So it's like sometimes you got to understand what is it like? The how much space do you have to taking someone that's a walk-in to someone that you made an appointment with? Because now a lot of people are so acceptable to making appointments. So when they come in, they don't want nobody in that chair. Why they feel like now that's a disrespect. Because I set my appointment ahead of time and I come in and thinking I'm gonna sit in your chair and you have someone in there. And someone sometimes when a walk-in comes in, when they sit down and they tell you one thing, but then they start adding on other features. Oh, like, can you do this? Oh, can you
Well,
do
that's where
that?
communication comes in.
Yeah.
You say to the client, this is what I have time for.
Yeah.
If you want something extra, then we're gonna have to figure out, something for a later time. But I very so believe, and there's an older generation that doesn't know how to use a phone, that doesn't know how to use a computer, that doesn't know how to download an
Oh,
app,
yeah.
you know. So
Yeah.
there's an older generation, and there's also um, mental capabilities that also don't allow people to know how to use certain things. There's I don't know if you know about mental challenges or
Yeah.
educational challenges, and I've met people that would tell me like, I'm not really good at using the phone, I really don't understand it, I'm not really good at reading, I can't
Yeah.
read, you
Yeah.
know so can I just call you, can I text you? I'm like, yeah, of course, give me a call. I don't use a booking app. I'm still very old school. People call me, everybody calls me, everybody texts
I
me.
do. I do both. I do both.
Yeah,
Like I have
yeah.
my booking app, and then I have people that don't even want to use the booking app because they'll still call me, and I just be like, okay,
Yeah.
What time are you thinking about coming in? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and log it in for you.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I had a client who he had to bankrupt and so he had no credit, nothing, so he didn't have a bank account, like he was in the check systems or
Yeah,
whatever. He's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can't use, I can't, he told me, he's like, I don't know if you use a bank app. He's like, but I can't use a credit card because I don't have one. I don't have a bank account. And I was like, oh, actually, I don't even need to, don't worry about it. Just yeah, you just cash, you know? So I just feel like me, I'm very accommodating to everybody's situation because I've heard it all. I've been in this industry for 21 years. I've heard everybody's stories. I heard people that can't read. I have people that can't have a
Yeah, yeah.
checkbook. You know, I have people that can't, you know, use.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just like, and I'll take that person always, you know, and especially because I've set such a good communication with my clients where sometimes I'll run behind because um I'll tell them, you know, I'm running a little behind. I have to take somebody before you. Is that okay? Yeah, no problem. You know, as long as you communicate at all times with your
Yeah,
clients are never going to feel disrespected
yeah,
because communication is key in your marriage, in your mother and father's relationship, with your kids, now with your clients. That
yeah.
also applies to your clients.
Well,
Communication is key.
I was just speaking on like because I understand what you were saying with when it comes to being an independent barber, but also working under a shop owner. And I
Yes.
know sometimes when you're working under the shop owner, you when you're like an independent worker, you have your own, like you said, you have your own guideline, your own setting of how you want to do things. Not in a way that it should never be in a way where you feel like you're disrespecting the shop and disrespecting the owner. But
Hmm.
sometimes you have owners that, like you said, they have walk-ins coming in, and maybe that particular barber is already set his day of how he want to do it. So it maybe come off looking rude when the barber owner be like, "Hey, we got a walk-in. Can you take him?" And he be like, "Well, no, I can't. I'm booked up." And then there's nobody else to really. So then some people maybe walk out and be like, "Okay, I don't want to come back there because they don't have anybody that's available for me." So it's like, how do you manage the leadership of your shop, knowing that, hey, I know I'm hiring a certain type of crowd of people. Maybe some shops maybe shouldn't even go where they're hiring someone that just renting a chair. Maybe they should do like, hey, maybe we're gonna do what is it the
Percentage.
yeah, the percentage one where they just set their shot up where, hey, I'm giving you. I'm gonna do what I need to do on my end to make sure that you're always booked up and set it like that, where you're not bringing in the balance of both. Because I know some shops they do both. They have people that's there doing percentage, and then they want to have people that's there that's doing. I'm renting out my chair for a certain amount. Like, how do you balance that? Did you ever have to deal with that where you?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think that's why I'm speaking on it because
yeah,
I used to be a shop owner and I work for a shop now,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know? And so
yeah,
I guess I can see both sides where like the worlds collide, you know, where yeah, things are changing, things are this way, but we also should be able to accommodate others. And I get that there's barbers that are booked out that don't want to take other clients, you know? And as a shop owner, you know, I would, you know, hire a walk-in only barber, you know? But
yeah.
then once that barber gets booked out, that's another. Then we
Right.
go to the issue all over again, you know. And it's a blessing and a curse because you want to be busy, right? You want to have people constantly coming into your shop because you have a great reputation and people are, you know, you have good, you know, reviews online and people are referring your shop. People are talking good about your shop. So as a business owner, it sucks when you have somebody that was told that your shop was great, that you have good barbers, that you know this is where you need to go to get your haircut and come in, and then nobody wants to take them
Yeah,
because everybody's too busy
yeah,
and can't set aside 10, 15 minutes, you know, to figure out how can I help you?
yeah,
What,
yeah.
listen, I have 15 minutes on my books. What can I do in those 15 minutes? Are you looking for just a fade? Are you looking for just, but nobody is, and I feel like that's also very needed in the industry. We need to teach business etiquette in the barbershop.
Yeah.
How do you communicate with the client? Like if you only have this amount of time, like talk to the client, be like, hey, listen, just do a quick consultation. I got 15 minutes. Will you be okay if I give you a 15-minute fade, a 15-minute taper? Or actually, all I can do is maybe just line you up and clean up your sides just so that you look good and then maybe come back at a later time, you know? So like, I think a lot of that etiquette is being lost because that's what I was taught to do at my uncle's shop. We always communicated, okay, what can I do for you in this amount of time that I have? Because I am busy, but I also don't want to let you walk out of here without having a service, you
Facts.
know? So
Yeah.
I feel like that's also missing, and we should have those business etiquette classes in these barber events. And I feel like that's
Yeah.
it's very it's there's a big gap in our industry where we're not teaching
Yeah.
customer service. I've been in shops
We're
where nobody says hello to the client,
yeah,
you know?
we're still teaching me. Like
Right. We're very very
I
me.
see I see
Me and my clients.
yeah. I
Yeah.
see that and even with the owner, like I'm the owner, so you gotta abide by my rules. So I feel like what I'm seeing it now, from my point of view, because we both been around it and we both seen it, I see a lot of people that are not even excited about working at barbershops no more. They're like,
Right.
I don't need to go to a barbershop. I'm gonna go to school, get my credential, and either I'm gonna work at home or I'm gonna go get a suite, and
Right.
and then when you explain like, hey, I get that, but then how you build your clientele if you just in a private setting, they be like, well, I got social media, I don't need that, so it's
Yeah,
yeah,
I think walk-in traffic is very important. You
yeah,
know, I've gotten some units off of walk-in traffic.
yeah,
Somebody that was in there getting a haircut, and somebody said, "Oh, she does hair units." Really?
yeah,
Oh, okay. And then they'll call the shop later on and said, "Hey, I was in there getting a haircut,
yeah,
and somebody said that you do hair units, and I was very interested. Can you explain a little bit more about that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, come on in for a consultation." So yeah, how can I mean? It's I've had my own suites also. I've had my own suites, and I'm very thankful that I was taught the way I was taught, because everywhere I'm at, I will always bring up that I'm a barber, that I cut hair.
yeah.
Everywhere I'm at, that's the first thing. I'm like, oh my God, that's a great haircut. That's a great beard line. Now, who does your beard? And oh, thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, yeah, because I'm a barber. I would know, your barber tell your barber he's doing a good job.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh, really? You know what I'm saying? So I get the conversation going. I always present myself as who I am, because I do identify as a barber. This is my identity. I
yeah,
think, like, people say, oh, you're more than that. No, I actually am just a barber.
yeah,
This is all I've ever been. This is all I love doing this.
yeah,
My tombstone, please put BarberBossLady, because I'm very proud of what I do.
yeah,
But because I have been on both sides of the
Right.
business side,
Yeah,
employee,
yeah,
shop owner. I feel like a lot of shop owners are also very frustrated, you know,
yeah,
and there's not enough content for shop owners for them to learn how to navigate through these personalities of men,
yeah,
navigate through these personalities of different mindsets. And not everybody's going to think the same as you, not everything's the same as me, just
yeah,
like how
yeah,
you think a certain way. I don't think that way either. Like, I just feel like everybody should be taught. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that I feel education wise is missed, you
yeah,
know yeah, like you said, the barber battles, and the very cool. I love it too. I love to see people out there competing, showing their skills, winning a prize,
yeah,
taking that trophy to the shop, because that makes the shop look great. That makes you look good in your shop, or in your business, whatever. I'm just saying, like, it's nice. It looks really great. But I feel education wise, we're missing a lot,
yeah,
and I feel like a lot also, there should be something where we bring all shop owners together, maybe have an event for only shop owners that own shops, so
yeah.
that we can do more of a
That'll be
business.
dope.
You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because we're not going to have the same mindset. What do you call it? Indians and chiefs, right?
yeah, yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
wants to be a chief. There's not enough Indians, right? But
yeah,
I feel like the people that really are good business owners, that have good business plans, that open up a shop wholeheartedly because they love the industry and they want to help others, and give jobs to others, and that's a shop owner is providing a job for you. They're providing a space for you.
yeah,
You don't know what it takes to be a shop owner. The
yeah,
lease, the
sure, yeah,
lights, the bills, the permits, the
yeah,
licenses, the city, what they ask you to do, the things that you have to abide by, so that you don't get shut down. Like, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of barbers don't see business owners do. They just think, oh, they just open a door.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Let me
he's
in.
taking all the money.
Yeah, right.
Actually, a lot of the money that you gave doesn't even go to his pocket anymore,
Facts.
because of how high things are. Business licenses, business permits, a lot of the stuff that they have to renew every year or every quarter, the taxes that you have to pay.
Yeah,
Like, so people don't understand that as business owners, you pay quarterly taxes, not just every year. And a lot of these barbers are getting money. We as business owners, we have to pay money to be a
crazy,
business owner,
right?
you know? So I feel like there's the disconnection is there between and that's where in 10 years, I feel like there's going to be a big disconnection. Everybody's going to be in their own private suites.
Yeah,
Like, the barbershop era community is really kind of being set on fire,
yeah. It
because
is.
everybody feels like, well, I'm gonna I could do this on my own.
Yeah.
All I need is to take some pictures and post them online,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, we are setting our industry on fire by not being a community and understanding and communicating and learning and taking the courses, taking the classes and pursuing more education, you know? And even just within each other, like, why don't you sit down with a shop owner and be like, what does it take to be a shop owner? What do you do as a
Yeah.
shop owner, you know, to keep these lights on or to have built this? Or how did you get the loan? Where did you get the money from? You know, a lot of shop owners didn't get a loan. It was savings, you know,
Yeah.
or, you know, loans from friends or loans from parents or loans from whatever, you know, that they're
Yeah.
still paying back, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like, shop owners and barbers and shop owners, that there should be more education for everybody, you know, and I hopefully can. And that's what, you know, me and a couple of people are planning. We're planning some business education classes for some of these barber expos that we are hopefully going to be dropping soon. Because we want to teach people how to open an LLC, how to open a business bank account, how to get some business credit, you know, how to open an investment account, how to open an index account, how to set up your retirement plan, how to get a policy with cash value, you know, stuff that, you know, because as barbers, all we're taught is
Yeah. Okay.
make it and spend
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
make it and spend it. But we're not being taught to set up our futures, you know?
Yeah.
And so with education, that's how you're going to learn to be a better barber, be a better business owner, be better with the business owner and be a better business owner with your barbers. You know, I feel like that the disconnection is there, and I want these barber events to be more professional and less
Yeah.
party like, you know, like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm new. I've only been doing this for like a year and a half. You know, all of these events that I've been going to, never did them before. I've been very lucky that I've been rubbing elbows with the right people. DC, I did one of his
That's my
DC the
boy.
barber.
Yeah.
I
I went
did
to,
one
I
of
went
that.
to
I think it
school
was his
with.
first exotic show. It was a barber battle show.
Yeah.
I took my newborn daughter to the show and I did a 10-minute fade. You know, that was like the first battle I ever competed in. Lisi, his fiance, like she's a beast in this industry.
Yeah.
She kind of took me under her wing, and I've been doing this stuff
I
with
gotta
her
get
on
her on
stage.
here next. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get her on.
Yeah.
If you, I am like a
No,
seed
yeah, I don't know.
next to her. No, she is like a full bloom flower. Like
I
I
got
learned so much from her. Like I
yeah.
have learned so much from her. When
No,
she
she's dope.
speaks,
She's
I'm
dope.
quiet.
Yeah.
When she talks, I'm quiet. I
Yeah.
listen to her. I take in what she says. I learn from her. You know, like I really do appreciate all the people that have brought me on and said, okay, here, come on, let's figure
Yeah.
this out together.
Yeah.
I'm like, you
And
know what? I want to do a
that's what
show.
it's
I want to
about.
do,
Yeah.
yeah. Because I've been vocal, I said, hey, I want to do a show. I want to educate on stage. How can I get there? They're like, well, come on then. That's what you want
Right.
to do. Let's roll, you know? And,
Yeah.
you know, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
That is a
Number one
universal
card
law.
rule. Yeah.
Closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
Say what you want, say what you need, and that's what you'll
Say
get,
it out
you
loud.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, say it out loud. You know, tell people like, I want to teach you something, or maybe I want to learn something from you. What can I learn from you? Because I feel like people will always appreciate you appreciating them, you
Yeah.
know? But since I'm saying I'm very new to these expos and these barber events and stuff like that. So I've seen a couple of things that I feel like could be tweaked,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
because also the event coordinators, the people that are putting this together, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I look at it,
Yeah.
like getting the venue, booking the vendors. And again, let me touch on the vendors. If you guys are going to these barber expos, check out the vendors. Start
Right.
walking by them.
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
they're there to present a product. They're
Yeah.
there because they're excited about their product.
Yeah.
And the least that you can do is just stop and say, what do you got going on here?
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of passing
I
them
do that. I
by.
do that all the time.
Yeah.
I know how that felt because before I even got in this industry, I did clothes. So I would go to like different events, like the Duck
Right.
Show and all that stuff like that, and set up my booth. And I know how it is to see people just walk by or kind of glance and keep walking. So
Ignore you.
yeah,
Yeah. You know, don't ignore the vendors. The vendors
yeah,
are actually the people that are
yeah.
putting money in
Yeah.
the
You
event
don't know how much
people's
they have to
pockets.
spend to put all that together.
How
Yeah,
much in shipping? I had no
yeah,
idea. Now that I work for Pure O, I love that product. I love that company. Miss Nicole, the
I was gonna
owner,
get to that. I'm glad that you already jumped on this. Sorry.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
I love her. Her business etiquette is amazing. She lets you be. She lets you shine.
Yeah.
She puts a spotlight on you. She puts you on stage. She puts you in front of people. You
Yeah.
just, you learn her product, and her product is 100% natural, pure
Yeah.
organic. So,
Yeah.
like for me, it's very
I got
important
my
to,
bottles.
yeah, it's very
Yeah.
important for me to represent something that's not harmful to you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
because I worked a lot of products that are very harmful. That's why we have a lot of balding, a lot of thinning, and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when I joined them, I thought this is amazing because I can actually represent something that I don't have to ever be like, well, I didn't know, or,
Right.
damn, my bad. I was in, no, actually, no, I do know. And
Yeah.
it's not my bad because I know exactly what I'm selling you, and I know that it's not harmful, and I know that it's gonna be, you can actually eat it if you want because it's not gonna do nothing for you, to you, I mean.
Yeah.
So, working for Pure O, it's been a great experience because I've learned so much to understand that she ships boxes and boxes of product
Yeah.
to every state that she goes to. That in itself is thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
she gets the booth ready. Then she gets everything set up and put up.
Yeah.
And then she has to put it down, and ship it right back to where she has got to go, and she's got to pay for being there. She's got to pay for the booth space.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, wow,
Yeah.
like I will never pass by another booth and not see what you got going on ever again because it's so disrespectful to go to an event and just want to drink, just want to party, just want to meet, just want to smash. And
Yeah.
then you have all of these people that are actually there professionally selling, teaching, taking time out of their day, taking time out of their families, to try to make a living for themselves, try to feed their family, try to, make a better life for them. And then not, and nobody's taking them, in
Seriously.
seriousness,
Yeah.
and they're being ignored. And that, like, I've been watching. I watch a lot, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
all right, this is kind of heartbreaking, But thankfully, the way Miss Nicole approaches things and stuff, like she has a lot of us working the booth. She has a lot of us, learning her product. And so we learn it. We post the stuff. We talk to people. We get engaged, and we're like, hey, let me show you what I got going on. This is better for your clients. It's better for this. But it's because we work really hard because we believe in the product,
Yeah.
But if you see somebody that's approaching you and just you don't have to buy, just listen,
Yeah.
because it's not gonna take anything at a time. But you're at least allowing their time to be appreciated.
Yes.
Being there.
Yeah.
That's just little things that I've noticed that I feel like should change within our industry.
And I love that you brought that to the front line to just explain about like, understanding the the production and the company that you're working for, and making sure that whatever you're selling or pushing out to our industry, that like you said, that you understand it, not like, hey, I'm selling this because I'm gonna make profit, but I really don't know what I'm selling. And to speak on like, hey, I'm selling something that's healthy, that's natural, that's for a greater benefit for you. And that go back to like what we was talking about earlier. Like when we get in this industry, we are doctors. We are more than just a barber behind a chair cutting
Hmm.
your hair, because we're sharing information to help you, you know, feel like whatever you missing, that we're gonna try our best to help replace that, or hopefully bring that back to where you feel more comfortable. How do you do
Right.
that? How do you do that with yourself? Because we're taking so much of everybody that we dealing with. How do you find a balance for yourself when it comes to health and safety and management, like releasing all whatever you're taking in and making sure that you're spending time, like you said, you have a family. Like how do you make
I
sure?
know my kids were just up and down the stairs
Yeah.
right now.
Like how do you balance all that in this industry? Because we're always on call.
um I don't know. Actually, I was at another interview and somebody asked me like, "What do you do for to self care?" Right?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, so today, Sunday and Monday is usually my day off. My joy is to clean my house, do my laundry, get prepared for the week, look
Yeah.
at my text messages, see if I missed anybody.
Yeah.
I I eat very healthy. I'm a health like freak. I don't
Okay.
my kids have never eaten McDonald's. My son got introduced to McDonald's, and my mom doesn't really listen to me, because the old school people don't listen to their kids, but like my daughters have never had McDonald's. Like I cook every day at home. I cook very natural. I'm purely I. This is why I love Pure Oat because I was already on my organic. I've been an organic eater for the last like 20 years, 15 years, 15 years. I've been an organic eater for 15 years. I only eat nothing that's non-GMO, not processed, no preservatives, no synthetics, no dyes. I do let my kids have a treat here and there because it's kind of hard, especially with Halloween just passed.
Right.
So I just gotta,
Yeah.
I can't battle the world all the time.
Right. Yeah.
But I think my food for me is like where I self-care. That food is my self-care. When I was in Mexico for 10 days, I ate super healthy, super organic because everything over there is very healthy, and I feel like taking care of my looks, taking care of the way I look. I go to the gym, I eat healthy. I like to do my hair. I like to wear makeup. I like to be feminine. I feel like that for me is like my therapy because I'm a mom. I'm a business owner. I don't have the time that I wish I could. Like I wish I could look like a world star athlete, but it's hard.
Right.
But I do what I can, and I feel like when you do what you can and it's fulfilling, then you feel good about the rest of the things, like because you know that you tried, and you know that whatever you did it with a lot of heart, and you did it with caring for yourself, because you have to care for everybody. As a father, you have to care for your wife, for your kids, for your brothers, for your parents, and I think everybody has responsibilities, but just finding something that you love, which I do. I love myself. I love to look a certain way. I strive for that, and eating healthy, going to the gym, taking walks, cleaning my house. Like I thrive on cleaning my house. I clean my house all morning, like
Yeah.
walls,
Yeah.
crevices. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of therapeutic for me because I'm doing something that when I'm done, I'm like,
Yeah. I
you
did
know,
that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like, and then people's like, God, cleaning. I'm like, yeah, I love to clean. I really do. And when I had my shop, it was very important for my shop to be clean. Like I feel like cleanliness is next to godliness, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel like when you're clean, like you invite all of the good vibes, you invite all of the good auras, you invite all of the good karma to
Yeah.
have a space to sit in a place where you love, that you show care, and you show, that you appreciate, because everything that you give that is given to you, it's on purpose. Like I live in a beautiful home in Las Vegas. I live in Las Vegas. I feel like that I love it here. I get to drive a car. I get to, take my kids to school, and I feel like though everything has a purpose, and everything it's not accidental. It's like I worked hard for it, and I have it because, it was meant for me. So I got to take care of that. You know,
Yeah.
it's funny. My dad, when we were younger, my dad would come in the house and he'd be like, "Oh, I love my refrigerator. Oh, I love you, toaster." Oh, like he would say stupid shit like that, and I'd be like, "What the hell, Dad? You're crazy." Our dog broke her leg, and he had to like pay $2,000 to like get her surgery and all that stuff. And he'll always be like, "Oh, I love my $2,000 dog," and it was like the funniest looking Chihuahua. But he'd be like, "Oh, I love my $2,000 dog," but he would like. And I think I learned that, like, my dad really appreciated everything he had,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything he was able to pay for,
Yeah. What he worked hard for. Yeah.
what he worked for. He worked really hard for it. So I feel like if you want to have a mansion, right? One day you think about everybody always thinks like, oh, I want to have a mansion and
Yeah.
a sports car, a luxury car, right? But are you treating your home like one? Are you treating your car like one?
Whatever you have right now, are you treating it? Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you treating like how
Yeah.
you wish or
Yeah.
how you would want it to be, right? Like if what good would it be if you can't treat your two-bedroom apartment, clean it, have it nice, furnish it, give it love, because it's not a six-bedroom house. But how are you going to take care of a six-bedroom house? You can't take care of a two-bedroom place. you
Facts.
know
Yeah.
how are you gonna be able to keep a $200,000, what is it, how much is a Rolls Royce, like 200K?
Right.
Like how are you gonna have a 200K car when you don't even treat the car that God gave you, the universe gifted you, that you just feel, oh, that's a hoopty, I don't even like that car, one day I'm gonna have this car, but you don't even appreciate what you have, by
Yeah.
cleaning it and keeping it nice and getting an oil change and having a nice chat. You know what I'm saying? Like that, how can you transition from one thing to the next when you're not appreciating what you have already? You know? So
And,
for me, those things are like self-care.
and you also relate that to, people being at the barbershop. I know for myself, even though it's not my barbershop, I'll still come in, and in the morning I'll put everybody's towel out. Or if I know that towel wasted, dirty towels are in the bucket, I'll
My
go and
friend.
I'll go in and then throw it in the washing machine. Or if I still see like certain hair on the floor, that I'll sweep it up. And I'm not asking for nobody to be like give me a pat on the back, but that's like,
No.
yeah. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
see, and I love that. See, I would love you as a barber in my shop. I'd be like, I want to have 10 of you. You know, I had barbers in my shop that were just amazing, and I have barbers in my shop that were like children, you know? And
Yeah.
it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because just because it's not your mess doesn't mean you can't pick it up. Like, it's not gonna break your arm, you know? It's
Yeah.
not going, you know, that's only you contributing to the shop being a certain way. That's you
Yeah.
contributing and appreciating your job. And I feel like that's so important as self care, because that's self care. Like when you care for others, that's self care. When you care for yourself, that's self care. You know, you take care of the things that you have already so that you can have more later, right?
Yeah.
So you take care of your shop, you're gonna have more clientele because now the clients are gonna
Yeah.
feel good being in there.
Yeah.
They're gonna love that the fact that the shop is clean at all times. They're gonna like
Yeah,
it
because
that you
when they
take
come
care
in,
of.
they gonna be like, oh, and they gonna look around and be like, oh, this is a nice shop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want them to
Yeah.
come in and look around and be like, why? Hey, this shop dirty.
Right, right. And it has something to do with the shop being nice aesthetically.
Yeah.
It has to do
Yeah.
with the shop being nice cleanliness, you
Yeah.
know? Because I've been to shops that were not the best looking shops, you know, but they were so
Yeah.
clean.
Yeah.
Oh, so clean. And I've been to some like high end shops where I'm like,
You're right.
what? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
can't they dust that off a little bit?
Right.
Like, there's just like, and I'm like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, poverty has nothing to do with cleanliness. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because, you know, you don't have the nicest thing doesn't mean that you can't treat it like it's a nice thing, you know? So, to your question is how I take care of myself. That's how I take care of myself. And I feel like that is very important for me to take care of my space is how I take care of me and how I treat the space and the things that I've been given is how I treat myself. And I look a certain way. Like, I'm gonna tell you something. I wear a lot of Walmart clothes, but nobody's gonna know
You're right.
because how the
But
way
you
I
gotta
wear it.
style it. Yeah.
It's because how I wear it. I
Yeah.
wear it because I feel like wow, this is beautiful. Like I'm gonna wear it because it is beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't care. The tag doesn't have anything to do with it because we know everything comes from China.
Right.
We
Facts.
know everything comes from China, right? And we know that Yeezy can take this and put Yeezy on it, and then it'll become a $200 sweater, you know?
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
how you feel in that sweater. It's not how that sweater makes you feel. It's the way you feel in that sweater, right? So it's just, and I feel like that's universal in everything that you should do, you know? The way you cut hair, you know? You
Yeah.
should feel like you're already a celebrity barber.
Yeah.
Every client in your chair is a celebrity barber,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Like everybody,
Can't wait for
I've
the
heard
celebrities to be like, oh, now I'm a celebrity.
okay, so I used to do a lot of celebrity events. I used to get hired to do concerts, and I used to be backstage with celebrities. I did a Kentucky show where I was on stage with what's that big guy? What's his name? He used to be a cop. He's a rapper now. He's a rapper, big guy. He
Oh,
used to be a cop.
yes, Rick
Rick Ross.
Ross. Yeah,
Yeah, I was on stage with Rick Ross on stage as a barber. I had no business being up there, right? And I was doing a lot of these celebrity events, right? And people were like, "Wow, that's so cool," this and that, right? And then everybody that was with me was like, oh, "I can't. I want to be a celebrity barber." How can you be a celebrity barber if you're not treating your current clients as celebrities? If
yeah,
you're not appreciating their time, you're not taking the time in their look, you're not taking the time and giving them the best haircut they've ever had. Just
yeah,
because he's not a celebrity, like
yeah.
that makes no sense to me. That everybody that walks out of school is like, I'm a celebrity barber. I want to cut a rapper. I want to cut it. You know,
You
how
want
can you even cut? How can you even get there if you haven't even had to practice for it yet?
you want to hear a funny joke? So before I moved to the location I'm at now, I used to cut in Marina Del Rey. So a particular guy found me and he was coming to me for a while. And we would just have, regular conversations about life, dating, this everything. And then he reached out to me for a haircut, but I was out of town. And he was like, "Man, I'm not too sure when I'm gonna be back, but when I be back, I'll hit you up." So I'm just going through social media, and then I see him online, and his name is Demola, and he's the new CEO for all the Red Lobster chain. Like he just bought all the Red Lobsters, and
Oh
he's
wow.
yeah. So me and him just been like just talking regular, this regular Joe, and he found me at my new location. He made up and said, "I'm in town. I want to come and get a haircut." So it was just funny because he came in there and I just started laughing because I was like, "Dude, I've been cutting your hair for the longest, and you never, some people don't need to tell who they are, but it was
Yeah,
just, it was just funny to know that I was cutting the CEO of all
of
the
some big franchise. It's
yeah.
huge. Billions of dollars. Billions. We're not talking about millions, we're talking
So
about
at the
billions.
end of our cut, we talked about, then we really started talking about like stocks and business and all that stuff like that. And he was giving me a lot of information. And he was like, "Man, I'm doing something in your area in Inglewood at the Red Lobster. Come through, and it's gonna be a big event." I go there. He's giving out free samples of everything of the new chain of what they're doing,
Oh, the new
and
menu that rolled out,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And
Yeah.
he had Ice Cube there. Ice Cube and his wife was there. And I was like, man, this is crazy.
It's crazy, right? Because you never know who you're cutting in your
Yeah,
chair. You
yeah,
never know. You
yeah,
never know. And that's what I like to tell. And that's what I told a lot of my
yeah,
students. You never know who you're cutting in your chair.
yeah,
Like I met a friend of mine, his name is Sean, who put me on to the concerts and he was, he's around celebrities all the time. So he brought me in my shop to do, put up like I built barbershops, behind stages and stuff like that. And I treated him like he was, I never not treated him like he was just a regular person. And
yeah,
he loved the way I work. He loved the way I manage my shop. He loved the
yeah,
way I handle my business. So he's like, he brought me on,
yeah, yeah. You
as a
never know
woman,
where
like
your opportunity is gonna
you
come
just
from.
never
Yeah,
know. You just never know.
yeah,
But you cannot be a certain status if you're not treating yourself as that already. Just
yeah,
because your clients work a 9 to 5 or their truckers or
yeah,
whatever, you
yeah,
don't know. You
yeah.
don't know. You just never know,
Yeah. And that's what he told
Treat
me.
them.
He was like, man, he's like, I love coming to you because your personality, I just feel relaxed when I'm around you. Like, it's nothing more than that. He said, you're amazing at cutting hair, but I enjoy your personality. So you never know, like, who is sitting in your
Right.
chair, and it's treat everybody the same. Like, you don't know
Treat
what
everybody.
anybody's going through or what they might be feeling at that moment. It might come off a little harsh at the moment, but once you give them that's your service and who you are. You know, sometimes when you give them the mirror, they're gonna look at it and go, "But man, I'm happy now. I feel different. I was going through something. You changed all that, and that's the moment where you say, I'm who I am, and I don't need to
Right.
be a celebrity. I'm, like you said, I'm a barber, and I came here to do my job. You know?
Yeah. And I do
Yeah,
my job and you do it well.
yeah,
And that's what we're here to do,
yeah,
and it's so important that you treat yourself as a celebrity barber already, because every
yeah,
person in your chair is a celebrity. You don't know how you're making them feel. They might go to an event and feel like they are a celebrity because of the way
yeah,
you
yeah,
just make them feel,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know
Facts.
so yeah, treat everything as if it's already a mansion, as if it's already a Rolls Royce, if it's already a celebrity
Right.
client,
Right.
treat them that way. Treat it like that's what it is, because that it is what it is. There's
Yeah.
people that are way worse off in life, right? Don't
Yeah.
have a home, don't have a car, and so if you start treating that, you start looking at life like that way, you're going to be successful, and the money comes. Trust me, the money does
It's
come
gonna come.
with
Yeah.
the way that you treat
Yeah.
it. That's the way the money comes, and
Yeah.
there's never, I've struggled. I'm not going to say I've had no
Yeah.
money and I
Yeah.
had a lot of money. I barely had money and then I had some, right?
Yeah.
It's just it, but the money comes when
Yeah.
you love what you do and you treat it with love and respect, and you treat those around you with love and respect, your people, the shop owners, your coworkers, your clients,
Yeah.
the people that you go see at these events. You treat everybody with love and respect, the money will come, the respect will come, and the success will always stay. It's like it's a formula, and the ingredients never lie. It always comes out that way. Yeah.
I always it's funny because I always like to end my conversation with law of attraction, but I feel like we were just discussing that all in one setting, just right then and there.
Yeah. Well, I'm listen. I'm a big advocate on the law of attraction. I read The
Yeah.
Secret like 20 years ago. That's how I opened up my first shop. I
Yeah.
implemented The Secret of Life. I put them.
Yeah.
I really put it to the test.
Yeah.
And I opened my shop at 25 years old with
Wow.
no money, no
Wow.
credit, no nothing. I
Yeah.
implemented the law of the universe, and the law of the universe, it never lies. The
Yeah.
way you think, the way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you present yourself, the way you treat others. It's a mirror about it's a mirror of how the universe is going to give it back to you.
Yeah.
You know, people say, "Oh, but you know what? There's," and it's funny because I was having a conversation with somebody and say, "Well, you know what? Evil people are rich, so how does that work?" Yeah, but you don't know how they feel inside.
Yeah. Yeah. Facts. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know how their home life is. You don't know how their private life is.
Yeah.
You can only see what they have and what they carry, but you
Yeah.
that's not what it's all about. It's about how you can go to sleep at night, how you know, how people talk about you, your reputation,
Yeah.
how, you know, people see you, how people refer you. You know,
Correct. Yeah.
that's where the real success is. That's where it lies, you know? Because I know that anywhere that I go in the world, I can cut hair and make it.
Yeah.
I can go to China, I can go to Asia, I mean, I can go anywhere, you know? But the
Yeah.
law of attraction doesn't lie. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Cyrus, I just want to say I appreciate you. Is your last name Pastor?
Yes. I know. I know. You don't know. When I used to have a Facebook, people would be like, "Oh, Pastor Cyrus, we're looking for a pastor to come to our." I'm like, "No, I don't. I'm not a pastor. Just my last name."
Hey, but you be preaching, so I've been enjoying it. I love it. That name fits you very well.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to say thank you for taking time out. You could have been anywhere in the world right now. You could have been relaxing, like I do not need to be talking no shit right now. But you came, you
Well, thank you
delivered.
for being patient with me because last week I just got back from a trip and I was just like trying to
Yeah.
get it all
No,
together.
I
But
get
I
it.
really appreciate you.
No,
Thank you.
this was awesome. I appreciate you taking time out to come on here and deliver. And this is not a one time thing. If you ever have something else that you want to share, this platform is for all you guys. So
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you. Yes.
yes.
And anything you ever need from me, you want to learn a hair unit, you want to come watch your work, you're more than welcome. Just
Oh
call
yeah,
me. Let me know when you're in Vegas.
we're gonna set up a course. I'm definitely fired up with that. So we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. Have a blessed one. Good
You
night
too.
and thank
Thank
you.
you. I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me the platform. Good night.
Good night.